Good afternoon, everybody. It is noon here in Richmond, and we are glad to have you along for another Richmond Review with Ed McDaniel and Mike Brewer. And I always have a lot of fun with these two guys, hanging out with them today, kind of just going over some of the stuff that's happening in downtown Richmond. And it is Tuesday, Mike. We're going to jump right into this thing and talk about Tasty Tuesdays, which has been a pretty popular event here in Richmond.
Sure. Commissioner McDaniels came to me some time back about Tasty Tuesdays, and that he had some people wanting to do this, and we sort of bounced around at that time where we were going to hold it, whether at Irvington or out of Gibson Bay. And it has blossomed with so many people coming that we need food vendors to show up. Yeah. Just to give those who are there working hard a break. I mean, it's just done well. There was probably over 400 there last Tuesday, so we feel very fortunate that this is going to kick off. And I got to give a lot of credit to Commissioner McDaniels for working with those in the beginning, and we're happy to be able to show that at Irvington McDowell Park. And it brings a lot of people from EKU. We saw that, and downtown, and people parked, and they just loved it.
Yeah, when you've got when you have folks that are lining up past Lancaster Avenue just to wait in line to get a burger, you know, and the Commissioner Ed sandwich, it's a great thing. You know, it's a success, and this is what the people have been wanting. You know, COVID has restricted everyone for the past year. They're ready to get out. Yeah. And you know, now we need to expand Tasty Tuesdays. We need to get live music out there. We need to get more food truck vendors out there. The deadline to apply was waived. We need people to sign up and come out and partake in this. If you don't believe me, ask Rick Johnson with the Chuck Wagon how well this pays off. But it's been a great event, and it's obviously going to be a successful one.
Well, Mike, to that point, where do people go to sign up, where they can, you know, to get their food trucks out there? Now, is it a one-time thing, or can they come every week? Just kind of give them the details on that.
Well, and I'm going to say this, and I will slap myself later. We actually had it set up to where, through the park system, where people could sign up and bring their food trucks. It kind of got switched around a little bit, and I'm going to blame Ed and I for that, because we should have been more engaged in that part.
You did hear that. He's blaming himself.
Yeah. I take a small part in that. But anyway, and now we've got it open. You still have to go through Parks and Recreation. There are some guidelines you have to go through. We do have restrictions that the city had put on starting in April 1st.
Yeah, and those are state restrictions.
Yeah.
That they're going to apply no matter where you're at.
No, it doesn't matter if you're here in Richmond on this street or at Irvington McDowell Park. So just call the Parks Department, set yourself up, have a great day. It's fun for the kids. They played all the time there on the parks part that's going, yeah, and it was just fun all the way around. Matter of fact, I ate Kona ice for the first time, and I'll probably go back for a second.
Well, and I think you talked about it. People just, with the COVID stuff, they're just now starting to feel comfortable getting back out. And this event, it's good to see people maybe you haven't seen in a while because of coronavirus, or maybe people that you've been around, but you can actually get out and about now, that you can get out and enjoy time with each other and some fellowship.
Well, I feel fortunate because I've had the Fauci ouchie shot twice, so and Ed and them are due, and I can't wait for him to get his first shot so I can laugh at him. But anyway, it's you know, the restrictions are lifting by the CDC, and people need to get out and blossom.
Yeah. So I think they're tired of being kind of hung up there for a while. As far as the downtown updates, there's a lot of stuff going on downtown that you guys are a part of as well. Talk about that.
Well, I'm not going to hog the show, but you know, we worked with the city manager and the mayor and our department heads in getting things downtown soon. So Tyler Johnson worked on some programs and not just the events, but cleaning the sidewalks for sidewalk repair, putting out new trash receptacles, and things like that to make Richmond cleaner looking downtown. And we're going to start that probably in the next week, now that the weather is breaking. So.
Well, you look at some of the buildings downtown, I mean, some of them look older. So is that kind of the idea too, just to try to freshen it up a little bit?
Well, I mean, we needed sidewalk repair. We've known that. We've talked about this for a long time. And we need places that don't have sidewalks that need sidewalks. So but this winter just really smacked everybody around. The snowstorm, the ice storm, the heavy rains, the flooding and stuff and things that we've done and we've had to contend with. Now it's time to clean that up and get our downtown looking good. And that's what we're going to do.
What was it, Mike? I believe it might have been 2019 is when we had the engineer go around and they did an assessment of our sidewalks, and they put it into color categories, being the area most in need to the area least in need. So obviously we're going to start in the red areas to make sure, like Mike said, we have places that they don't have sidewalks, and we need to get those places sidewalks, and then fix the ones that are just completely gone, and then get to the greener spots, that the areas that are least in need right now.
And I was going to say this, in our street and sanitation and department, those guys did such work along with our maintenance department in Parks and Recreation of maintaining the roads and sidewalks here in Richmond through this ice storm. We are still cleaning up debris and limbs and stuff in neighborhoods where this all occurred. And we had at one time, so I think it's well over that, we had 84 tons of debris and limbs and trees that were picked up by our people. So
yeah, that trifecta of storms really put a hamper on things for us.
Well, let's take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about another thing that's going on downtown, the Millstone Park, an update about what's going on with that coming up here pretty soon when we come back on Richmond Review.
Here at WBON TV, we are very happy to be bringing the local news, weather, sports, community events, and conversations to you very soon on Richmond's new TV station, VHF Channel 9. While we continue installing equipment and expanding our facilities to officially launch this new media service to you, let us know where you're watching. Email us at information@wbontv.com and tell us if you're watching over the air, on cable, and what you think of the programming. Exciting things coming soon to Richmond's very own Channel 9.
Back here on Richmond Review, and before we get into the Millstone Festival thing that we're going to be updating, I want to say thank you to Lori Tatum here and the staff at Richmond Tourism for allowing us to kind of come in and take over this room for about an hour or so whenever we come in here and set up and get the thing going.
I don't know where we'd be without tourism, right?
That's absolutely right.
They do a yeoman's work on a very thin budget, and this year's been very tough on them. All A Classic was like 1/8 of what it normally is. And but they make it work, and this is an historic home, so hats off to her. You're right.
One thing about talking about downtown, the Millstone Festival was something that everybody was excited about last year. You remember whenever we had the Christmas parade a couple of years ago and the announcement of that from Mayor Blythe, We didn't get to have that last year because of the coronavirus, but good news is the plan is to have that this year.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a long time coming. This is something that come into fruition in 2019 with that board of commission and the mayor and Rob Meinrich. But this year, finally, it looks like it's going to be a go, and we'll be able to put the festival on. I think we're going to close off, is it First Street?
Yes.
As a beer garden. Then Water Street will be occupied by booths and stuff like that. I think maybe a 5K race to kick it off. So it's going to be a really good time. That's going to be a great festival.
I looked at the odds that the bookmakers made of who was the favorite to win that 5K, and they've got Mike listed as the odds-on favorite.
Oh yeah,
That's- yeah,
do
that-
not bet against him.
That's because I got a
He will win.
2-day start.
Well, I mean, this is something that you guys have been really interested in since the very beginning. You guys wanted to make this thing happen, and I think to see it finally come to fruition is a big deal.
Well, you know, when and Commissioner McDaniel brought it up, the Christmas parade, and I think you mentioned it, Speedy Denny got a key and delivered that about the Millstone Festival to the mayor. And in our mayor's address to the public about our city's stance and where we are financially and the things we want to do, we are back on target.
Yeah.
We are ready to go. I'm going to say it. I hate to give all the credit to Rob Meinrich, but I'll do it this time. He worked very hard with the department heads to watch our budget and to keep things in line so that when things started off and we could get back on track, we were ready to go.
And I think that's important too, because you know you have to have people in place to make sure things are going the right way. And with the coronavirus, I mean, everybody's job or title or role was kind of flipped upside down. So to have those roles still in place made it very important for us to make it through that time and still flourish as a city as we go into now kind of coming out of that pandemic.
Oh, 100%. That, you know, to get punched in the chin and just keep on moving. And that's what we've done since this started, what, a year ago now. So, yeah, it's and it's good. Like Commissioner Brewer said a minute ago, we're moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, we still continue forward.
And we put $1 million back in our contingency fund. There is not anybody that I've known surrounding us were able to follow up with that kind of investment, and we put that back in 1 year.
Wow.
So that's a big deal, a very big deal. And we rely on that money for project capital outlay and those things, and we're back.
When you look at the city as a whole, I think, you know, with everybody kind of pitching in, smaller businesses having to kind of find new ways to get business in, and these loans that came about to kind of help with the,
Yes.
the government providing those and us getting a big part of that to kind of help those smaller businesses around the area as well. It seems like everybody was on the same team when it came to trying to survive this pandemic.
Well, I can tell you this. We stood together as a group, as a commission, when it started, and up to date, and we took care of our neighbor, you know, and it's just a roundabout direction of taking. I don't know. I hate to say it, but we did a very good job of hugging our neighbor.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like peace, love, and happiness.
Mike's a hugger.
But
He's
But
gonna
it-
hug me. I'm jealous.
yeah, but it happened. I mean, we looked out for each other. You know, and the city gave out $2,500 on a stimulus package
Yeah.
ourselves to help our small businesses downtown, and that said a lot. And there are others that have followed now, other cities and communities, but we started out with us.
Well, and and just like you said, it's good to see. It's good for Richmond, the government here, Mike Brewer, myself, Rob Meinrich, the rest of them, to have these ideals, put them into effect, and then a couple weeks later see surrounding cities doing it.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. That tells me
Yeah.
we're doing something right.
You know, I think when you look back at the stuff that we lost last year, that, you know, some people may not even realize, but you look at, you know, Paradise Cove being shut down. You look at the Christmas parade that was canceled, the Halloween festival, the Millstone Festival, all these things that are big deals for the city that drives businesses downtown, drives people downtown to those smaller businesses. It also creates jobs for people, like, you know, whether it be high school students or people that are used to looking forward to working those events, and those stuff didn't happen this year.
Yeah.
Well, Lori can tell you that through tourism, Paradise Cove, as you mentioned, I mean, our aquatic center shut down for a year.
Yeah.
We're ready to open it back up. They're working on things as we speak to get repairs done that occurred through this winter and this ice storm. We will be ready to go.
And kind of tell a little bit more about the aquatic center that's going to be opening back up.
Okay, we hope that we open it up on its normal schedule, but actually a lot of that depends on what the CDC puts down. So we will follow those guidelines.
Yeah.
But the putt-putt with the waterfalls, we're putting a new pump in it to make sure that it works. Last year it didn't work. It had some difficulties, but we spent a ton of money getting those things up and ready to go for the public. And we want them back. We want them to enjoy
Yeah.
what I feel is and not what Commissioner McDaniel feels is one of the greatest parks in Kentucky.
100%.
Yeah, and you look at, you know, one thing that I think we at least did get to have, like the fireworks show last year at Lake Creek, but even it was kind of a watered down version as
Yeah.
far as
Oh,
the
yeah.
number of people allowed up there. So
Yeah.
we're moving in the right direction. We're about 3 or 4 months out from that right now, and looking like maybe we will have a more common or something that we're at least used to when it comes to the fireworks show.
Oh, yeah, Erin Moore with Parks and Rec, she's already putting vendors together
Yeah.
for that. So it's going to be a great event this year.
Don't hold us back, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think that's the big thing. I mean, everybody is ready for that. I mean, it may be an all-time best event because people missed it so much last year,
Yeah.
and I think you kind of take that stuff for granted because we didn't get
Well,
to have it, and now you're going to get it back again.
Well, we're getting it back and we're adding to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we're looking at a Saturday in August right now, trying to put together a end of summer music fest. So we really want to bring out the community this year. You know, the restrictions are easing up. People are being vaccinated. So we should be able to start getting back to normalcy. And we want to just start supplying the community here with things to do.
Well, you look at all the stuff that you guys are putting together. We talked about Tasty Tuesdays already. You know, just getting back to like Paradise Cove and the Adventure Falls and Gibson Bay Golf Course. I mean, just everything that's out there that we can be a part of. You know, if people wanted to maybe sign up for events like this, is that something that would go through the city for, or is that through Parks and Rec, or where do they get more information?
That information is on our website, My Richmond, and then actually the Parks and Recreation has that information where you can obtain those things that are going on through the park system, and tourism here can feed that out to you. You know, and we talked about this. We know we're at least 200 acres short of Parks and Recreation area for our community. We are looking with the city manager, the mayor, and the rest of the commission on finding new areas to promote recreation for our community, from one end of town to the other. And that's upcoming soon. We should have more details on that, but whatever it is, we're going to fix it.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about the city as a whole and just the people that are in place seem to be the right people. You look at Lori here at Tourism, you look at Aaron at Parks and Rec, I mean, Rob Miner at City Manager, everybody seems to be on the same page. And I think that's a big deal right now because you all are still having to do the Zoom calls on your commissioner meetings. And when you're not face to face, it can make things a little bit difficult to kind of get your opinion out or your statements out. But it looks like the right people are in place to make sure that all this stuff comes to fruition this year.
Oh, 100%. I've said it all along. We've got the exact right people doing the right jobs right now, and it's proof just by the way that we're moving forward. We're progressing. We're the sixth fastest growing city in the state of Kentucky. Well, we're going to move up.
Yeah.
We're going to keep moving up that scale. As long as we keep our people. That was one of the reasons for the upgraded pay. Is we want to keep the people that we have right now, the head of these departments, and also when it's time for them to retire or go, we want to look very favorable to good recruits that are going to come and fill those jobs. It's all a circle, and right now we're on a good one.
Mike, I think when you talk about how things are going right now, and we're still trying to figure out what we're allowed to do with CDC guidelines, as you discussed, but I think everything seems to be pretty good as far as the money and everything right now. Is that right as far as the grants and everything that we're getting?
Yeah, our financial stability of this city is, I hate a terrible word to say, but it's grand. And we've watched what we've had to do. Our city manager has been tasked to do that, and he's done a fine job in doing that. But you have to know our department heads cut their budgets. Well, I don't want to use that word, cut their budget. They limited what they could do throughout this until they realized that we had the money in place.
Yeah.
And I thank them for being such good stewards on that. Now, there is money going to come down. Supposedly, the feds are going to pass down money to help smaller communities to get back on their feet, and we will qualify for that, and we will search and go after that with a lot of earnest. So let's all, or I hate to say it this way too, and we'll use that word a lot, but let's turn it to where we're just working together and not working against. That's where we'll prosper. So, and we've done this, Commissioner McDaniel and myself, the mayor, so.
Yeah, I think when you see, it's easy to attack and complain whenever you don't see what all is going on behind the scenes, but I think that's the majority of people that don't understand some of these things, is they just see the Zoom call, not the preparation that goes into everything that's going on, but those topics that are being discussed in the Zoom call, or whether it's being, the money that's being distributed to what businesses get that money. I think that's the kind of thing that people don't understand, is how important it is to make sure all that stuff is in the right order.
Oh, yeah, and but you're always going to have those keyboard warriors that always have to throw something out there, but, there's a lot of work that's been put in to where Richmond is at today, and we're not going to stop. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing the last couple of years, and that's moving Richmond forward.
One thing that we talked about, this thing right here, Mike, let's just show this to the folks and kind of just give it, what is this for? We've got it up here.
Okay, that is a mill sack from Zern Mill. Lori come across that. Someone showed that to her, and she let us borrow it today. That's why the Mill Stone Festival is what it is. And I'm hoping that, and I'm going to put a shout out for John Leeds. He made a mill down at his store.
Leeds Jewelry?
Yeah, his jewelry store.
That's really
I think
nice.
there was over 300 or 350 of those he's done.
Yeah.
I encourage the public to go buy one. I mean, he did. It's
They're
actually
really nice. They're just like a medallion.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
they're nice.
Kind of like a memory thing.
And we're going to do it
it's
for
actually
the
Millstone.
Millstone
Okay.
Festival. And, this just some of Richmond's heritage. You're actually setting in some of Richmond's heritage with this.
Oh, yeah, well, and then we had got a couple comments that people said that there wasn't any mills located in Richmond.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah, there it is.
We got proof right here in front of us.
Yeah.
Well, a couple other events that we've talked about before we go off the air here today. The Gel and Bell event is always a good fundraiser for the city as well.
Yeah, this is something that Hope's Wings has done for the last few years, and you know, they are a nonprofit. They operate solely off funds that they can have donated to them. So this whole Gel and Bell project is really important to them, and I know that Commissioner Brewer and myself, we've done it. Gosh, how many times have we been in jail now, Mike?
Some of them I'm on.
We'll plead the fifth on that, but it's a great event, and encourage everybody out there, you know, give them a little money. Find someone on Facebook that's advertising for it, needs a donation, give them $5-10. Every little bit helps, and Jennifer over at Hope's Wings will be greatly appreciative of it.
There's no better organization to donate to than them.
Another thing, that you've got a charity event that you're a part of as well.
As many know, Harry Hunsucker, our
big event this past weekend.
Last week Monday he took a phone call from the UFC, and they asked him to step in on a pretty major fight in 4 days' notice. Well, Harry, being a warrior, says, yeah, let's do it. But because he done that, he got a contract with UFC, so he's a UFC elite fighter now. But he has come back. He's back from Vegas now, and he wants to give back. He wants to give back to the community. He's originally from Rockcastle County. He's lived here in Richmond for years now. But what he's wanting to do is start I guess a fundraiser, we might call it, for, he wants a Bikes for Tykes. He wants to buy bicycles for all the disadvantaged youth here in Madison County, Richmond, and in Rockcastle County. He's got $2,000 right now. He wants $5,000. We've got I don't know that I'm at liberty to say, but we've got a discounted price on bicycles. So we're going to start trying to, I want maybe to team with him with the Richmond Outdoor Committee and contact some local businesses and see if they can't chip in on it and get a little advertising for them. But once this is over, I don't know, we haven't got any dates. I found out about it today, but I know Harry is pretty motivated about it and excited. He wants to show the kids in our community that if you have a dream, it is possible, and you can achieve it no matter where you come from.
That's a big deal too, to help out, because I mean that's something that I think with the coronavirus stuff, people kind of forgot about those people that are not as privileged as the rest of us, that didn't lose jobs or you know, that still had money coming in because of the coronavirus taking some of that away. So this is a good deal to kind of give back to the community.
And we got spring and summer coming up, and Harry really wants to see these kids being able to enjoy the outside on a bicycle and just having fun.
Let's just hope that those kids don't wear the same outfit that Mike wears when he rides his bike up and down the street.
Yeah, I've got a picture of that too, if anybody wants it.
It's coming in.
Well, and that just goes to show you, I mean, again, everybody's on the same page, even somebody not involved within the city, but Harry has a local business here, and he's a great guy. Really good fighter too. Did get the out again 4 days notice in a pretty big event just to kind of pack up and head out of town.
4 day notice on a top 15 heavyweight in the world. I mean, good night. That's you are a warrior to take that on. But anybody that's listening that is interested in getting involved in this, you can message me. You can find me on Facebook. Look me up on the city website. Just get with me or Commissioner Brewer, and we'll get you in the right direction.
Before we let you guys go, anything else that you want to update the folks on?
There's a lot of stuff I'd like to tell the folks about Commissioner Brewer, but I won't do it right now.
I'll pay him later.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Well, guys, always fun catching up with you. We appreciate the updates here within the city. And I think when you talk about everything that's going on here, it seems like we're moving in the right direction to finally get things back open, to finally get back to the normalcy that you guys have been talking about. And it feels good to be able to come here. You know, we're socially distanced enough not to have to wear our masks today, and just to be able to catch up, update the fine folks here in Richmond about what's going on in the community, because there is a lot going on that they need to know about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, you hang out with us here on Richmond Review. We'll be back here again in about a month or so. We'll come back and update some more stuff going on, and we appreciate tuning us in here today on WBON TV and another Richmond Review.